Welcome to AviatorDB News Briefing. Today is Thursday, August 6th, 2026. Here are today's top stories. FAA NTSB open probe after Marine One, regional jet lose separation at DCA. The baby bus bows out, a history of the Airbus A318. Air Canada names SAS chief Anko van der Werff as next CEO. ATC saves Silkway 7478F after crew requests Houston while near Dallas on Fumes. Now for the details. The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board have launched investigations into a safety incident involving Marine One and an Envoy Air regional jet near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, DCA. The event, described as a momentary loss of separation, occurred as the presidential helicopter departed the White House ellipse for Joint Base Andrews at approximately 2:33 p.m. An Embraer E-170 operating as Envoy Air Flight 3742, marketed as American Eagle, departed DCA 1 minute later. Under FAA protocols, commercial traffic at DCA must be halted several minutes before a Marine One departure to maintain a safety buffer of at least 1.5 nautical miles horizontally and 500 feet vertically. Those procedures were not followed in this instance. Air traffic control audio indicates a call from the Marine One crew to the DCA tower went unacknowledged 3 minutes before takeoff. A lapse, investigators say, contributed to the breakdown in coordination. The FAA said the aircraft were not on converging flight paths and no immediate danger materialized, but the incident has drawn sharp scrutiny given the heightened safety environment at DCA. The current mandatory ground stop procedures for presidential movements were implemented following a fatal mid-air collision in January 2025 when an American Airlines regional jet and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter collided on approach to the airport, killing all 67 people aboard both aircraft. The FAA is now convening a safety review team to determine why those post-crash safeguards were not fully implemented and to establish corrective measures for air traffic control coordination during presidential flight operations. The Airbus A318, affectionately known as the baby bus, is entering the final chapters of its operational life. Originally launched in April 1999 to target thinner routes, the aircraft is now largely in a drawdown phase, with only a handful of airframes remaining in scheduled service. Air France is one of the most notable remaining operators, though the airline has continued to reduce its A318 fleet into 2026. The A318 made its first flight on January 15, 2002, and entered commercial service with Frontier Airlines in July 2003 as the smallest member of the A320 family. It struggled commercially. Only 80 units were ever built before production ended in 2013, but carved out a reputation in specialized roles. British Airways most famously deployed the type on all business-class transatlantic flights between London City Airport and New York, a route made possible by the aircraft's EASA-approved steep approach certification, granted in 2007. Industry analysts have long attributed the A318's limited commercial uptake to a collapse in demand for small narrow-bodies following the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, which reshaped airline network strategies for years afterward. Despite its modest sales figures, the aircraft compiled a strong safety record with no reported fatal hull loss accidents. As operators transition to more fuel-efficient modern narrow-bodies, the A318 stands as a case study in Airbus's ability to stretch a common platform into niche missions, even when broader market demand never materialized. Air Canada has named Anko van der Werff, the current president and CEO of Scandinavian Airlines, SAS, as its next president and chief executive officer. Van der Werff is expected to assume the role and join the carrier's board of directors by the end of January 2027, the airline confirmed in an official release. The appointment follows a global executive search to succeed Michael Rousseau, who will retire August 31, 2026, after 19 years with the carrier. During the transition period, Air Canada's executive committee will report directly to the board of directors. Van der Werff brings a broad international resume to the role, having previously served as CEO of Avianca and held senior leadership positions at Aeromexico, KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, and Qatar Airways. Industry analysts view his appointment as strategically significant, given his experience in airline restructuring, network optimization, and transatlantic operations. His French language proficiency is also seen as a meaningful asset as the carrier works to strengthen relations with Francophone communities and regulators, an area of public scrutiny during Rousseau's tenure. As Air Canada continues to develop its hub at Toronto Pearson International Airport, the leadership change signals a clear emphasis on external expertise and operational resilience. SAS has confirmed van der Werff will remain in his current role until his departure in early 2027, while the airline begins searching for his successor. A Silkway West Airlines Boeing 7478F freighter narrowly avoided a fuel exhaustion event after air traffic controllers intervened to divert the aircraft to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, DFW. Flight 7L5722 had departed Mexico City's Felipe Angeles International Airport, NLU, bound for Houston, George Bush Intercontinental Airport, IAH, but found itself in the Dallas area with critically low fuel, according to ATC. Audio reviewed by Simple Flying and View from the Wing. With the aircraft positioned near Dallas Love Field, DAY, the crew declared a pan urgency call, reporting only 6,000 pounds of fuel remaining, roughly 30 minutes of endurance. Despite the critical fuel state, the pilots requested immediate vectors and a shortcut to Houston's runway 26R. A Dallas area controller responded that the aircraft was not even near Houston and was several hundred miles from its destination, making the crew's requested routing wholly unfeasible. Recognizing the severity of the situation, the controller declared an emergency on behalf of the crew and vectored the 747 to runway 18R at DFW, where it landed safely and was met by aircraft rescue and firefighting (ARFF) crews. Neither Silkway West Airlines nor the FAA has issued a formal public statement addressing the crew's apparent loss of situational awareness or the underlying cause of the fuel shortage. The incident serves as a stark reminder of ATC's critical role as a safety backstop when flight crew situational awareness breaks down. That's all we have for today. You can get the latest aviation news at aviatordb.com.